Yeah, I'm not sure I could follow that up with any Polish for myself, but we do got the Polish powerhouses, Cami and Seti, to grace us here today. And I will say, Takata, before we kind of watch anything that's going on, Cami, Seti are kind of known for a little bit of a slow start in some of these tournaments. It's usually towards the second half they begin to pick things up, and we're now inching into the second half of the day.
Starting off slow, but staying consistent is what we like to see from this duo. The Polish Panthers, as Adam would like to call them. Currently, like you said, taking more of an uncongested rotate around the edge of the zone, as they already have 2 elims to their names. They've done a bit of damage. They've gotten a good amount of loot, and now they just kind of want to make it to zone, get based up, and maybe even take some shots with the players who are also rotating in these angles. But so far, nothing too risky for Tayson, though, and Venno closer to the Rift Island. Much more of a popular location, but as zone has pulled far away, all the players as well are starting to rotate away. So far, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, nothing too exciting so far. You see them just trying to look together, see.
Oh!
Ooh, about to say anybody else looking to use a rift, but he gets sniped before that's a possibility. And just the aim with the Thunderburst. Tayson and Venno just strike again. I feel like that duo had no idea what was hitting them, what came coming. I just have no idea.
I think they still don't know what just hit them. Like they're like, what just happened? Both players taken out in an instant headshot snipe from the laser, while his partner, I mean, he was just trying to zip line up. Didn't have to do him like that. Come on, Venno. Both SMGs. Looked like another snipe shot hit him. This Bimbo inside of the bush, looking to see if it's gonna open up any opportunities. Can conserve materials by not building your little base. Can surprise some opponents, but when you're in this tier of lobbies, nobody's running into a bush unchecked. They will take shots at it. They will make sure that it's clear, even when they're rotating past it. But it doesn't hurt to stay in one. It's a bit relaxing, you know?
They just have to be careful because although they do have the zone pretty open on their side of the map, it won't 50-50 all the way up there towards Rebels Roost. So a lot of their options are being cut out, and they could potentially position themselves with a max zone pool, but only time will tell. Psycho Cool and Voltiax, not too far of a rotation for them, but just like everybody else nearby, there is so many players getting stacked up on this side of the zone. It is going to start to become congested. So you start to wonder, is it worth it to take some sword damage, go around everybody else, try to get in front if you do have the heals? Or do you just try to want to brute force your way through? Decisions for a lot of these teams, especially considering Storm Surge has been playing a huge role in today's games.
Nako, Kire representing Spain here. Currently, I believe, top 7, top 8 on the leaderboard. Not doing too bad so far in the first qualifier. Can they maintain it, though? As they've also opted to rotate into a bush here. Edge of zone, though. They need to keep going. Looks like they were kind of planning their rotate, looking around, seeing what options they have, as now, as the shots came through, forced to place that metal brick builds, and now going to stay here and be the ones taking shot on the other players that are rotating on in.
Just a kind of a tough position with everybody kind of congested on this side, and whether you're 10 above or just below altogether, you know you're not necessarily feeling comfortable, and you have to start being proactive of where you're going to get the shots at. And you see them looking towards the back side of the zone. Now they're looking towards the front, seeing if anybody is trying to pass them up on this next rotation. And this is the moment right here. You start to get a little nervous now that they have fallen and continue to fall below that damage threshold.
What can they do to get out of this situation? They're a bit elevated, but to be fair, inside the forest here, there's so many trees, there's so much kind of natural environmental blocks where they can't really get that much vision on their opponents in the surrounding areas. So they're just going to choose for a straight-on box fight. They don't need to get eliminations from this. Just a few shots, one big pump could be what they need, and they get it. But with that advantage, they might be hungry for more. Gets the knock now inside of the opponent's box, but Waze is going to get knocked as well now. Both duos left as a solo. They might be able to pick up their duo partners, but with the third parties coming through, the shots, the pressure being applied, it's going to be incredibly difficult. 1 HP. Can he make it out of here?
Wow. Storm literally forcing him inward, and And that was just a tough situation. They're trading shots back and forth, getting each other low. But then everybody else around them hears all that commotion going on, and they begin to spray in that direction, making what could have been a dream for some into a nightmare. Now they're forced to kind of scrounge together. A lot of the materials being expended. And you see half of Flowberry Fizzes on each one of those. So a lot of the charge is already going out the window before the rotation even comes in.
Waze got picked up, though. Duo partner was brought back into the match, although not with a lot of HP to work with. Hopefully they have some medkits or something in hand that they can use. Nathan CZB, on the other hand, no pressure at all. 375 above. Good loot. Can't even replenish those dashes that they're going to quickly use here to get into zone. Zipline to get up. Is that the play they want to do? No.
I will say, I like how Nathan and CZB has started the day. You know, they have a huge VR, 8 elims, second game of the day, 7th place, 3 elims. They are finding themselves and finding some consistency in these games, but it's still the early start of the day. Things could get better. Things could fall down just a little bit. I mean, look at Cammy. Last time we saw them, him and Seti were looking strong, rotating around, and now he's stuck as a solo. I would say luckily for him, he does have a lot of material, a lot of resources in his back pocket, and he's pulled very, very closely into this next zone. So even though it does look tough for him, things are working out, but it looks tougher on the other side. Veno's down, Tayson being pressured. It does look like some of those shots might be bleeding through, and it's just going to be tough to see if he can survive all that onslaught.
2 Titan duos now with no duo partner. Tayson left as a solo. Cammy as well has lost Seti. Forced to see what they can clutch up. Good news is, I believe they have pulled zone, so they do not have to make much of a rotate here, although Tayson doesn't even have to do damage. 924 above. Even with Veno being eliminated, you can just see how dominant they've been throughout this match. But with so much placement to be achieved here, with 22 duos still up, 42 players, there's a long way for Tayson to go in this match.
And only about 6 players do need to go down in this zone, but it's going to go jump to 10 right after. So Tayson, it's all about just surviving. You said it yourself, almost 1,000 damage above the threshold. It's all about just jumping from one box to the next, essentially. Finding safety where you can, as Cammy. 141, not as comfortable as Tayson is, but he still does a good job of using that to his advantage, especially that he is a solo. He doesn't have to wait for Seti. He doesn't have to time it right. He goes when he feels comfortable, and so far it's working out for him and Tayson.
Yeah, great position, to be fair. It all depends, though, where this zone pulls, because there's so much elevation on both the east and west side here, and it looks like it even might pull a little south, so you can still play in the river, even with this upcoming zone. But if it ends up pulling fully east and you're in the river, it's going to be an incredibly difficult rotate, as you'll have to climb that whole mountain that you can see here, the whole ridge. So it's that decision you have to make. As a solo, it could be possible, especially with the dashes. But for the duos already based up there, it might just be safer to stay on top.
Yeah, this next rotation is going to be telling for a lot of teams, whether you're above the threshold or not. With a lot of dashes and a lot of players needing to go down, it is going to give opportunity for a lot of chaos to ensue, as Voltiax and Psycho, they immediately push forward, take some of that high ground. But the question I ask, is it too soon? They got a couple zones to go and a lot of opportunity for players to dash up and contest it.
Only one banana in hand, as now they're kind of deciding, you know, what should we do? We're so high up. Flowberry popped, trying to get ahead here to rebuild on up, as Tayson now rotating along the edge of zone. It's dangerous, though. He has picked up an elim, but there's so many duos close by, so many players battling, and still with 93 builds, he doesn't want to take any risks.
Yeah, doesn't really need to either. 756, does have the bananas, can stagger himself, instant HP plus HP gain. Huge elimination for Cammy. Even though he's in zone, he gets a good amount of heals, but focus. That's Arcadian on the backside, getting the elimination and stealing together those heals. But Tayson still finding a way, tooth and nail, all the grit to stay ahead of the zone and get these placement points. Because remember when Venom went down, nobody was granted anything.
Banana plus Flowberry, good rotation combo, but if you're in the air for too long, it opens up that opportunity for your opponents to take shots. As high ground has been overthrown. All the players now trying to scale up, as the zone did pull back east. No more river of sticks for those dashes unless you have that medallion.
Very, very little resource in terms of ways to gain HP and shield for Tayson. Running out of build as well. About 200. That's enough for him to work with, but also knows he has to try to find something. Peeks towards the left, lands a couple shots, but nothing that gives him the confidence to continue moving forward. But the zone pulls back yet again. Another blessing for Tayson to continue to try to stay alive.
33 builds. He's getting closer and closer to needing that impact, needing that elimination. Nathan, though, connecting nice shots, but his duo partner's up. He wants to tarp it, make sure he can get regrouped at CZB. He's back now, ahead of the zone. They can just look back here, maybe even find some free pickings as players start running out of materials. Opportunities start opening up, and for Tayson, he's going to capitalize on that. Now back to 30 builds, but only 12 HP. He's just one shot away from getting eliminated.
Yeah, at least he got elimination points, placement points by taking down the full team. And now he has to really dig deep to figure out what he's going to do next. Another team going down, top 11, pushing forward.
Whoa.
Nice shot towards the backside. Cobra is going to get knocked, but it's in the zone. Tayson cannot pick up any of that loot, so he has to continue pushing forward with nothing.
Still getting a good amount of elims. These points are massive for Tayson, already at 112. But we're just 2 ticks away from being eliminated the Storm. He's forced back up a layer. 3 builds now. Pressure is on. 1 build now, 0 builds. He needs to make something happen.
Yeah, he was almost second height. He became the focus. He can't even pause here to use the Flowberry Fizz, get shield. It's from one fight to the next, and it's Nathan and CZB who take him down as soon as he reaches the low ground. And Nathan and CZB could be the first team on the day to have 2 victory royales in this qualifier.
It's going to be difficult, though. The high ground team could have heals. I have not seen their inventory yet. If they have enough med kits to play it, it could be what grants them that win. As Nathan now continuing to top ahead. They do have 28 builds. They do have the Flowberry Fizz. Are they going to go for the aggression? Are they going to play it slow? There's just 3 duos up, 5 players. Can they hold on?
Yeah, they cannot let this go to heal off, though. That's going to be the biggest thing. They have no HP in their inventory if it does come down to it. And this is where disruption starts. One opponent's going to go down. He drops into the palm of his hand. CZB strikes. Back-to-back eliminations. 2v1 situation, though, with no heals. They're trying to chop everything down before he goes to the backside of the zone for the heal off. No success just yet. His opponent has just been able to escape. Down goes Nathan. Down goes CZB. No 2 victory royales for you as it gets snatched away.
Ftoyd up top on the high ground with the medkit in hand. Didn't have to take a single shot at his opponent. It's just ran away on back. Used the medkit, got the heal off, and got the VR. Easy way to close it out.
Yeah, only time will tell what that does to the leaderboard, because again, there's already 1 win on CZB and Nathan. Even though they got second, they're going to move up. You can see Ftoyd at the backside, he had more than enough heals because of the fact that he had high ground for so long. He was able to pass everybody up and save those to the perfect moment. But another game down, another game out. Let's throw it on over to our analyst desk to break everything down.